back to another Sunday prep day. If you're new here, every Sunday I prep for the week, so that means cutting all my vegetables and making things that take some time. So today I'm gonna make a curry paste and some butternut squash soup. So for my curry paste, I'm just gonna cut an onion a bit coarse, and I'll throw that in my food processor. And as I'm cutting things, I'll just add to that. And then I also need some onion for my butternut squash soup. So while I cut that, I'll start telling you about my menu. So for lunch today, as always on Sunday, I have some sandwiches because I usually eat low-carb lunches, except for the weekend when I have my cheat days. So I have some ham, and I'll have some cucumber, things like that for my sandwich. So let me get a bigger container where I can put all my soup stuff. So that is Sunday lunch. Then for dinner, I'm gonna make a stamppot. A stamppot is a Dutch dish that is potato mashed with some kind of vegetable. I'm doing leek with some bacon. I'll have some sausage on the side. Yeah. We're slowly going into some winter dishes. Then for Monday, Meatless Monday, for lunch I'm going to have that butternut squash soup that I mentioned. And for dinner I'll have a vegan curry with chickpeas and lentils. So I'll be using that curry paste that I mentioned. And I'm just cutting up these onions for a few dishes. I'll do 2 onions. Then we're on Tuesday. For lunch, I'm gonna do a broccoli stem and chicken stir fry. You've probably seen me do that before, where I always save my broccoli stems, and then I will cut them into not quite broccoli rice because too much effort. I don't mind it a little bit chunkier, but yeah, I will cut that nice and fine. I'll use that as the base for my stir fry. So with chicken, peppers, onions, all that kind of stuff. Then for dinner, I do Taco Tuesday. So I'm gonna make some chicken fajitas. So I'll do some different color peppers, onion. So that's why I'm cutting this. Garlic, chilies. And I'll probably marinate the chicken. So, what next? We'll do some leek. So this is gonna go in my leek stamppot, and I'll probably have some with my stir fry as well. Then Wednesday for lunch, I have some cauliflower left over still, so I'll do some cauliflower mash with some sausage. And then for dinner, I'm gonna do a chicken rice bowl with peppers, so kind of like a fajita rice bowl. Okay, I'll do a little bit more. Then on Thursday, I'm gonna do another low-carb stir-fry, but in this case, I'll use some. You might have seen me use that before. It's called zero-carb rice. It's not actually made of rice. It's made from konnyaku, and it's basically just fiber. But it's in a rice shape, so I'll use that. And then for dinner, I'm gonna do a noodle bowl with some chicken, and I still have some green beans. So yeah, you see me use that a lot. I quite like green beans, and yeah, especially with like noodle bowls and stuff, like spicy green beans. when you saute them in sambal. Pretty good. So that done, and then I'm just gonna do some garlic. I'll take a few of these cloves. I'll do the smaller ones, and I'll throw those in for my curry paste. Then for my soup, we'll do 3 cloves. I'm not gonna bother peeling them because I'm gonna puree the soup anyway. And then for my fajitas and my stir fries, I'll do a little bit more garlic, and I just spilled it everywhere. So on Friday, I'll do some grilled fish with some cauliflower just to use up the cauliflower. I'm not gonna cut this garlic too fine, by the way, especially when I'm making like fajitas, because it will burn really quick. And then while I chop up this celery for my soup. For dinner on Friday, I'll do some fish tacos. I meant to do fish tacos last week, but yeah, I didn't really feel like it. So I got some takeout instead. So I'll do some fish tacos this week. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do yet, if I'm going to do it with the salsa or if I'm going to do it with some cabbage, so I'll just figure that out on Friday. So that's some celery for my soup. What are we gonna do next? Let's do some peppers. So I have some of these pointy peppers and a big one, just a bunch of different colors for my fajitas, and what I don't use for the fajitas I'll put in my stir fries. But I just want a lot of different colors. So this green one I'll just cut into ribbons by cutting it across. And then I'll do the same with this red pointy one. And then this yellow one, just cut in half, clean that out. And then one of those halves I'll quarter, and I'll cut into about the same size ribbons as my green and my red. And then the other one I'll cut into cubes to go in my stir fries, and whatever of the red and the green I don't use for my fajitas and my fajita bowl, I can always cut finer to put my stir fry. Or actually, they're quite thin, so I can just leave them like that. So, cubes done. Put them on this side. Then we have some chilies. So I got some cayenne, I got some jalapeno. I'll do 2 cayenne and 1 jalapeno I'll cut for my stir fries. Actually, I'll do 2 jalapenos because I also want some for my fajitas. So I'll just, the fajitas, I will take the seeds out just because they're quite large, the pith. So I'll just cut that out. And cut that into ribbons. I'll do one more, and then the rest I'll just cut the tips off, or the tops I mean. So I have like 5 jalapenos, 2 cayenne. I'll just throw those in with the rest of the ingredients for the curry paste. I'll do the same for these cayenne. Just throw them in. And then I have one of these habaneros. So I will cut that in half and take the little seeds out. And I'll cut that small as well. And I'll put some of that in with the curry paste and some for my stir fries and fajitas. And then I have a whole bunch of these cherry tomatoes. I'm just going to cut them in half. These are going to go in my curry tomorrow. And if I cut them in half, or if they're bigger ones, I'll cut them into quarters. They'll just break down a lot quicker. So let me just mow through these real quick. Okay, that's tomatoes done. What's next? Let's do some cucumber. Like I said, I'll just use that for my lunch, for my sandwiches. And I might do some later in the week if I do a salsa, like a pico de gallo kind of thing with my fish tacos, but I don't know yet, so I'm not going to cut them right now. But I will cut this one. Let's do one more, just for good measure. Then, next up, for my butternut squash soup, some butternut squash. I'll cut off the base and the tip. And I'm just gonna quickly peel that. And then I'm going to cut it in half. And I'll take a spoon. And I'll scoop out all of the seeds. You can save them and roast them, but I don't care much for pumpkin seeds or butternut squash seeds, so I'm just going to discard them. And then I'll just cut them into chunks. I'm cutting them reasonably fine, just because they will cook quicker, but since I'm going to blend them up, the shape doesn't really matter that much. And I'll just put that in with the rest of my soup ingredients. Up next, let's do a carrot. So I'm just going to take a big piece. I'll cut it in half. I'm going to leave the skin on, but I'll cut this into some large chunks as well to go in my soup. And I'll just save the rest of the carrot for another day. Next up, we'll do some sweet potato. So I'm just going to peel that real quick. And then I'll cut these into some smaller pieces because I'm going to use this for my my curry. I like some sweet potato in my curry. A little bit of sweetness to counteract the heat. There we go. Then I have some green beans for my spicy green beans to go with my noodle bowl. So I'm just going to quickly top and till those. Alright, green beans done. Then we will move on to the cauliflower. So again, this is going to be for some cauliflower mash and for a meal with some grilled fish with some cauliflower on Friday. So I'm just going to cut these florets off. And I'll just cut these into bite-sized pieces. That is cauliflower sorted. Then I have my broccoli stems. So the one thing I did was take off the little eyes, the little remnants of the leaves. And first I'll take off the small bits at the end. Like I said, I'm not going to turn this all the way into broccoli rice, but you absolutely could. Yeah, it's too much effort for me, and I don't mind a little bit of texture. So once I've cut all the small bits off, I'm going to cut it in half, and then cut it across, or lengthwise, and then across to make some nice small pieces, nice and fine. And the only thing I don't use is the very end, because that gets a bit woody sometimes. Like this very end bit. Well, I'll do the exact same thing with this one. But yeah, you can cut this as coarse or as fine as you would like. What else? I have some cilantro here. So from last week, I saved some of the stems. So I'll just cut those in half so they fit in my food processor a bit easier. And I'm also going to take the stems off this and just throw that in. Those are perfect flavoring for a curry paste. And the rest I'll just cut nice and fine for my lime cilantro rice. So I'm just gonna go through it real quick. And then I'll just keep running my knife through. And then I have some turmeric and some ginger. So I'm just going to peel those real quick. And then my turmeric can just go in whole, and the ginger I'll just cut into rough chunks so it fits in the food processor a little bit easier. So that was 33 minutes of chopping. Now I'm just going to make the curry paste. I'll just blitz that up real quick, and while that goes down, I'm going to put everything away that I don't need anymore. So that is nice and fine. I can put that into some glass containers, and yes, you will want to use glass, not plastic, because the turmeric in here will stain everything. I'm going to transfer that in a moment. In the meantime, I also preheated my Ninja Foodi on saute. So I'm just going to add a little bit of oil. And I'll add in my vegetables. So that's butternut squash, carrot, onion, garlic, and celery. So I'm just going to saute that. And I'll add a little bit of salt. And while that is sauteing, I just want to soften everything a little bit. I'm just going to transfer this into the glass jars. Okay, so this can go in the fridge. This will last for about a week or two. So I'll use this for one jar for the vegan curry tomorrow. And the other jar I'll probably use next week for some kind of curry. So in the meantime, the vegetables have softened a bit. So I'm just going to take a little bit of this parsley that I had left over. I'm just going to leave it whole because I don't want to blend that in, because I don't want green in my nice orange butternut squash soup. So I'm just going to fish that out when everything is done. I'll add some water. Just make sure everything is submerged. And then you can absolutely cook this or do it in a pot or whatever, but I have a pressure cooker which makes things a lot quicker. So I'm going to switch it to pressure cook. I want everything nice and smooth, so that's probably like 30 to 40 minutes. Yeah, we'll just do 30. It will be falling apart by then. So I'm just going to let that go, do its thing. And then when that is done, I'll just puree it and I'll be back to close out the video. And that's the soup done. I just gave it a little quick blitz with my immersion blender so that I can just heat up tomorrow for lunch. And yeah, everything else is ready for the week, so I can just have lunch or dinner on the table in minutes. If you like this kind of content, I do this every single Sunday. And if you like to see what I do with all the ingredients, like what kind of meals I make, you can check out my Instagram, which is linked below. And also, about once a month, I post a video where I show you everything I eat in a day. So I posted one last week, I think. So, but yeah, if you like this, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, and thanks for watching. Until next time, bye for now.